development, understanding, youth empowerment, academic excellence and artistry, nurture. With options to study in a homeschooling, virtual campus, and a non-campus setting. DUYAN Learning Center, Mactan Arts Academy, continues to be your partner in your child's holistic education.
Hello everyone, welcome to DUYAN Learning Center, Mactan Arts Academy. This is Teacher Joel. Today we will talk about the global trends in education. What is going on in education nowadays around the world? Of course, we will also talk about the local trends in education. What is going on in the Philippines in terms of the K-12 program by the Department of Education. Let's start. According to Ken Robinson, there are changing education paradigms going on globally, especially in public school education. Education in recent years, or in recent decades, was heavily influenced by the Industrial Revolution. Education was patterned from the factories, like the Ford factory that is creating cars. Nowadays, there is a re-emphasis on arts education because arts education has been neglected in recent years. Assessment and grading. We now have formative and summative assessments. Formative assessment is one that is ongoing. As the student is learning, he is also or she is also being assessed. Summative assessment is at the end of the lesson, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the semester, at the end of the year, to assess what the student learned. Performances, products, and portfolios are now being considered on top of or in addition to written exams. Assessment now is for learning, as learning, and of learning. For learning meaning before they are being taught, they are being assessed so that the teacher will be informed of what the student needs to know and needs to understand. Assessment can also be part of what they need to learn. So assessment as learning. And of course, we all know that assessment also shows us evidence of what that student already learned. There is a move towards non-averaging system of grading. Example, the International Baccalaureate program, they have this 7-point scale. So at the end of the year, a student may have a grade of 6, a grade of 7, or a grade of 5. Unlike what we've known before, the percentage grade of 98, 75, 86, so on and so forth. In this way, grades can be meaningful, can be descriptive, and also can be non-numerical at times. They can use letters as grades, or they can use words and phrases as grades. Character education is being emphasized again. Academic excellence should be coupled with character building because it helps students succeed in school and in the future. So not only should they be intellectually strong, but they should also be emotionally fit. Constructivism, as proposed by John Piaget, Lev Vygotsky, and others. It means people produce knowledge and form meaning based upon their experiences or real-life experiences. It can be through accommodation and assimilation. Accommodation is when you change what you previously know as new information come to light. Assimilation is when you just add to your previous learning or previous experience. This is opposed to what we know as tabula rasa, meaning blank slate or empty slate, in which students are considered as blank or empty, and therefore it's the job of the teacher to fill up that emptiness. Constructivism is embraced by Montessori schools around the world. There is also now an embrace of critical thinking or higher order thinking skills. This was proposed by Benjamin Bloom, and he has his taxonomy of cognitive domain. The first level and lowest level is knowledge. Next is comprehension, also known as understanding. Application of knowledge. Number 4 is analysis. Number 5 is synthesis or creation. And the highest level of thinking skill is evaluation. Differentiated instruction. It is a teaching method that recognizes that students have different readiness, and interests, and learning styles. Readiness is the emotional and psychological readiness or pace of the student. Some students are slow learners, some are on-time learners, while others are fast learners. Interests is about their likes, dislikes, and preferences. Learning styles. These are different ways students learn and process information. Some learn best when are given auditory stimulation. Some learn best when given visual stimulation. And others are kinesthetic or tactile learners. Kinesthetic is about the movement of the body. Tactile is when you let them use or touch things. Distance learning. A form of education in which the student is physically separated from the teacher. Some of the examples of distance learning are as follows: correspondence courses, radio, audio, video, TV or television, mobile learning, and of course, internet or online learning. Homeschooling in part may fall under this. Inclusion and special education. It is the bringing in of children who are special, gifted, and differently abled into the mainstream classroom. There will usually be a SPED teacher in each class, or the school will have its own SPED department in which the SPED teacher or specialist goes from one class to another. The SPED specialist or SPED teacher will work in collaboration with parents, occupational physical therapists, developmental pediatricians, and other non-governmental organizations. Information and communications technology and media literacy. So there's a use of computers, cell phones, tablets, MP3 and MP4 players, and other technological media, including the use of social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or other social media accounts, or YouTube. Library media. Library nowadays do not only involve physical shelves and physical books, but may also involve digital or e-books. National standards are being embraced now by schools, so that wherever the student goes within the country, there is a certain standard that is being maintained by that province. Adapting a common set of content and performance standards for the whole state or country, and which are localized and contextualized. Understanding by Design was proposed by Grant Wiggins and J. Mactan. It is a backwards curriculum design framework. The first stage is one that defines the standards, or what actually the students need to learn at the end of the school year, at the end of the semester or quarter. Essential questions are being used to help students bring about enduring understanding. In stage 2, teachers and coordinators plot or plan the best assessments, exams, or evidence of student learning. Formative and summative assessments fall under this stage, as well as performance tasks. These are products and performances that students perform or submit in addition to their written works. Stage 3 is when teachers actually plan their lessons. It can be a daily, weekly lesson plan, which follows the paradigm where to. Howard Gardner proposed what we now know as multiple intelligences, not just one intelligence. So for him, Some are musical, rhythmic, and harmonic. Most probably those who love music and are very good in music, have talent in music. There are those who are visual and spatial learners who love seeing things, who also learn best by seeing things. There are those who are very good in their verbal and linguistic skills, good in speaking and good in learning languages. Of course, number 4, logical mathematicians who love logic, who love counting, who love reasoning. Number 5, those who are bodily kinesthetic learners who love movement, who love dancing, who love sports. Number 6, interpersonal intelligence. These are sociable people who know how to deal with other people of different culture, of different ages, or different backgrounds. Intrapersonal intelligence. These are people who fully understand themselves and they have a strong sense of self, strong self-image, and also will. Naturalistic people, they love the environment, they love nature, they love plants and animals. And existential and moral intelligence. These people love thinking and talking about truth, about morality, about religion and faith. There are other trends in education globally. There is what we call the flipped classroom. In DUYAN, we love this because in the flipped classroom, it's during class time or during the students' time with the teacher that they do a lot of their activities, engaging activities and assessments, and it's at home when they do their learning of content, reading and watching of videos, or listening to songs, or listening to recorded lessons. Global education, of course, because we are now being globalized, especially because of technology, so we are learning more about other countries and their culture. Whole child paradigm, involving not just the school and the parents or the home, but also the community in rearing the child or nurturing the child. There's a lot going on about brain research and brain-based learning that also affect how teachers teach nowadays for the good of the child. Integrated curriculum. There are schools who are moving towards integrating subjects and not dividing learning by different subjects like science, math, or the arts. It's all integrated. Inquiry-based learning, in which at the start of the year, a lot of questions are being asked of the children, and their answers will direct what will be taught in the year in weeks and months to come. Effective teaching and leading. Collaboration and cooperative learning. Multicultural education, social learning theory, 21st century skills, obviously, teacher as researcher, play and game-based learning, which is a favorite of DUYAN, especially our preschool program, and bring your own device. Lastly, another trend around the world is the K-12 program. Many schools in different parts of the world is embracing the K-12 program. So let me summarize. Education has never been as dynamic as it is today. Many theories, principles, and methods in education are making it possible to teach different kinds of learners of the new century and prepare them for the future. Now let's talk about the Enhanced K-12 Basic Education Program of the Department of Education of the Republic of the Philippines. In 2010, we can see that out of the countries in the ASEAN region, only the Philippines has 10 levels of grade school, grades 1 to 6 and 1st to 4th year high school, while the others already have either 11 years of grade school education, basic education, or 12 years of basic education according to Simeo Innotech. So the vision of the K-12 program is that every graduate of the Enhanced K-12 Basic Education Program is an empowered individual who has learned through a program that is rooted on sound educational principles and geared towards excellence, the foundations for learning throughout life, the competence to engage in work and be productive, the ability to coexist in fruitful harmony with local and global communities, the capability to engage in autonomous critical thinking, and the capacity to transform others and oneself. It is a vision grounded on human development. It is a vision achieved through an enhanced curriculum. It is a vision that has socio-economic relevance. It is the enhanced K-12 basic education model. So in this model, 5 years old children will start schooling as kindergarten students, which is mandatory for 5-year-olds. And then there will be 6 years of elementary school from grades 1 to 6. And there will be 4 years of junior high school, which is now called grade 7 to 10, formerly known as first year to fourth year high school. And there will be 2 years of senior high school, which is roughly equivalent to the first year and second year college before. So the K-12 program was rolled out in 2012, and it will be rolled out for 6 years until school year 2017-2018, where we will have our first grade 12 graduates. So in the year 2018, the first grade 12 students of this program graduated from the public school and other private schools. Here are the features. It is making the curriculum relevant to learners. Okay, contextualization and localization. It is building proficiency using the mother tongue-based multilingual education. In kindergarten to grade 3, the child's dominant language is used as the language of learning. Filipino English language proficiency is developed from kindergarten to grade 3, but gradually. Mother tongue is used in instruction and learning materials of other learning areas. Ensuring integrated and seamless learning, also known as spiral progression. So many lessons are being repeated in the grade levels to come on a spiral progression. Basic concepts or general concepts are first learned. More complex and sophisticated version of the basic or general concepts are then rediscovered in the succeeding grades. Grade 1 enrollees must be 6 years of age. It was strictly implemented in the school year 2020-2021. Mother tongue has become a subject in addition to being the media of instruction on early years. There is an omnibus policy on kindergarten education which was proposed in DepEd Order number 47 series of 2016. It sets the basic standards for an efficient and effective kindergarten education program implementation for both public and schools nationwide. These are the components. There is a curriculum. It has instruction, such as teaching methodologies and strategies, the assessments, the learning resources and instructional materials, letter E, learning space and environment, and letter F, monitoring and evaluation for the standard delivery of kindergarten services. In the Republic Act number 10157, also known as the Kindergarten Education Act, it talks about equal opportunities for all children to accessible and mandatory kindergarten education. Kindergarten education, or KE, is the first stage of compulsory and mandatory formal education, which consists of 1 year of preparatory education for children at least 5 years old as prerequisite for grade 1. The Kindergarten Curriculum Guide, CKG, is also known as the Standards and Competencies for 5-year-old Filipino Children. It is the listing of competencies or skills in the 7 developmental domains for holistic development of children. The KCG is the basis in coming up with the daily activities spelled out in the teacher's guide. Developmental domains refer to the 7 learning areas in the kindergarten curriculum, namely: number 1, language, literacy, and communication. Number 2, socio-emotional development. Number 3, values development. Number 4, physical health and motor development. Number 5, aesthetic or creative development. Number 6, mathematics or numeracy. Number 7, understanding of the physical and natural environment. There are also formative and summative assessments. Early childhood care and development checklist is used. It is conducted 3 times a year, at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end of the year. There are also progress reports throughout the year of the 7 domains, 1 in each quarter. In DepEd Order number 20, series of 2018, it was amended, and there is strict implementation of the age requirement of 5 years old by June 1, starting school year 2019-2020. Children turning 5 years old on or before August 31 may be considered on the condition that the ECCD checklist must be administered to the learner before the opening of the school year. Now about the junior high school, grades 7 to 10. From grade 7 to 8, there will be an exploratory TLE or Technology and Livelihood Education. But when they reach grade 9 to 10, it will be a specialized Technology Livelihood Education course. For senior high school, there are different tracks that student may choose from after junior high school. We have Accountancy, Business and Management, ABM. We have Humanities and Social Sciences. We have Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics. And then of course we have General Academic track and the Pre-Baccalaureate Maritime track. We also have Technical Vocational Livelihood tracks, which are Agri-Fishery, Home Economics, Information and Communications Technology, Industrial Arts, and Technical Vocational Livelihood Maritime. We also have the Sports track and the Arts and Design track. Here are some updates from DepEd. There is what we call the Learner Information System, or LIS. This is the online database of all student profiles and enrollments nationwide. This is to keep track all the students transferring from one school to another in one centralized database. So each student is assigned a Learner Reference Number, or LRN. This is the tracking number of all students nationwide used for LIS. The grading system is standards-based or competency-based. However, in the year 2015, they reverted back to the averaging system. The awards and honors are as such. The first, second, and third honors were now replaced by with highest honors, with high honors, and with honors. There can be more than one recipient per honor. We now have the alternative learning system. So students who are working or over age for elementary or high school may take an alternative way of learning, similar to distance education or homeschooling. There are other DepEd updates. Gardening and planting in schools are being revived, or urban planting. Grade 12 students might need to plant at least 10 trees each as a requirement for graduation. There's values and discipline. Values and discipline should start at home. Schools could only reinforce. And GMRC, good manners and right conduct, might be revived, as well as ROTC. Healthy food and beverages in schools are being mandated. This is the chart. Let us all be guided by this DepEd order in bringing and sending foods and drinks to school. The only possible exception is when there is a school-authorized class party. So we have the green category, the healthy food. They should always be on the menu, or these are what is expected of students to bring to school. The yellow category, meaning they are only allowed once or twice a week in school. And the red category, they are not to be brought or sold in school at all. In summary, the Philippine government, in cooperation with the Department of Education, is making an effort to improve the quality of education through the new K-12 program. Although the program may not be fully compliant with all the current trends in education outside of the country, it hopes to make our education system competitive with the rest of the ASEAN, Asia, and the world. In the next video, we will talk about DUYAN Learning Center Mactan Arts Academy's trends in education. What has DUYAN embraced from the global and local trends in education? Please like and follow our social media accounts. They are our primary means of spreading information to the masses. We have Facebook, Twitter, website, we have Instagram, YouTube, and the new one, which is the SchoolZine app or SZAP. Here's an example of the SZAP. Thank you very much. Please watch the other videos in this series. Stay safe and God bless you all.